Hey, YouTube. This is Anthony, one half of Spring 15. Um, just coming second video here, a little late tonight. It's actually about midnight here in Colorado. I'm not sure if I mentioned that's where we're at, but just a quick video compared to the first one I did with some new seller tips and some a little bit more compacted information. Hopefully, a little bit more organized than the first video. But we talked about, I talked about initially what our first 30 days looked like with selling on Amazon, and now just a little bit more as far as selling tips for new sellers looking to sell books on Amazon. So after going through, like I said, talked about the details of getting set up and what that looked like for us. Um, if you're anything like we are, we were looking to spend as little money as little as possible to get started with this business. So as far as a cheap uh, setup or startup, kind of what I recommend is again you can get the free seller account where you don't have to pay the 40. Again, you are paying $1 for every transaction. But again, in the beginning, that could be cheaper depending on how much business you do, and you can always switch or upgrade. But if you go with the free seller account and you do a 30-day trial, which most scouting apps have some sort of trial period. Again, we used Scoutly or FBAscan, and they have a 30-day trial period, which is awesome because we were already making money before we even had to sign up for an app. But if you get that, and then if you are, like I mentioned before, if you have books in your home, your parents live nearby with a basement full of books, a buddy, anybody, anywhere you can get near some free books, you can use that the Amazon Seller app to kind of start scanning and get the feel of what that looks like. But with books, it is there's more evaluating to do, so that's why I do recommend getting a trial right away so you can see what it looks like in the scouting app. And now, if you do want to move forward and get a scanner, a Bluetooth scanner at some point, one of the ones we tried to get, our first one was the FBAscan 2002, which is a great scanner. They're expensive. We actually got a really good deal on ours, but for about half the price and with a warranty, or the second scanner we picked up was the eYoYo, and we picked it up for uh, it's it's the eYoYo 3-in-1. We actually got a 3-year warranty for it and picked it up for less than $40. It has its little nuances, just like every scanner, which I'll make a video about that. But good scanner, it'll do the job, and for $40 for the 3-year warranty, it's a good starting scanner. So that's a way to get in the game cheap, and you'll have everything you need to get going from that point. But one thing I wanted to discuss, like I said, when it comes to scanning books and having a scanning app, a few of the things I look at when scanning the book is going to be the average rank, which is important, days with sales, and then profit, which potential profit I base off of potential being a keyword. I base off of the competition, the comps that are out there, and then the days with sales. So I just want to pull up a quick book here and then kind of show you what that looks like.
All right, so here is just a quick look at just a book in our personal collection, and you can see all the numbers that I was referring to. In the upper left-hand corner, we have the sales rank, and this particular app, which is why I like it, actually gives two numbers for the sales rank. It gives the sales rank current as of today, which is the one that's on the left side of the slash, but the more valuable one and the one that we base our decisions off of is the number on the right side of the slash, which is called the average sales rank. Difference, again, the left side is just the rank currently today. Right side is actually the sales rank over the last 12 months. So how well has this book sold compared to every other book that's on Amazon within the last 12 months? And that information, I feel it gives a bit more depth to your decision making, and that's why I appreciate this app a little bit more than some of the others. To the right of that, you have the days with sales. This one actually has 8 days. Now that's it's not the number of times it's sold, it's the number of days it's sold within the last 6 months. So 8 within the last 6 months. And then in the upper right hand corner, you see the profit that's showing right there is a loss of 78 cents. Now that's if we were to sell at the $8 amount that's marked there. And take note that it's that column actually says 6 used FBA items. So that's how many other buyers are selling this book used as FBA or fulfilled by Amazon. And so based on triggers that I have set up, you can see that it's initially saying that this is a reject. but I'm a big believer in looking into each of these books a little bit more. And so we'll definitely take a look. If you click on the heading for the used FBA, it'll actually pull up and you can take a look at each of the items there. Now we see the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And looks like the sixth is actually listed higher than some of the new pricing for some reason. But now this is how like I said, I use profit and the day, or my profit is determined by the competition plus the days of sales. Now, our goal is to move these items within 3 months. So when we have a figure like days of sales, which gives us 8 sales within the last 6 months. Now, this isn't an exact, we don't know when they sold, but we can kind of make an assumption that, okay, about 4 of these are moving in a 3 month time period. And so if I take a look at based on that, I'll take a look at the 4 lowest FBA prices, and I see that that's $12.49, right? And so I can take a look at that number, that 12.49, and kind of base it off of that to see if it's profitable or not. Now I wouldn't go, like I said, I can go lowest or highest within that range or somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't do lowest because obviously that was a loss. So no point in selling for a loss. But if I take a look at that highest, now if you click on the profit, it'll actually bring up the screen. You can just pop that amount in there, and I can take a look and see if there's a $3 profit if I were to sell at the 12.49. Now for me, that's a good combination of time frame and price, and that's just one way to look at it. Another nice thing about this app is that it does have at the bottom there the sales chart. So not only do you get the days per sales, which is 8, but if you click on the chart, and I do apologize that when I do it, it automatically comes up with a different orientation. But this actually shows you the number of sales over the year. Now that comes in handy when you're dealing with textbooks, right? Because if you're buying a textbook this time of year, they sell in seasons. You want to take a look at the whole year versus just 6 months. So those are a couple of big reasons why I like this app, the average sales rank, and that you get the sales chart essentially, which is a keep a chart for free, whereas otherwise you'd end up paying for that. So that's just a quick look at it. And again, if $3 is in your profit range, then hey, you can move forward with the book. But if not, then on to the next. So we'll pop out of that.
Cool. So again, that was just a quick look at Scoutly and what it looks like to scan a book on there, and what it is that we look for when scanning through books. Now, there are some things that play into this conditioning of the book, which Reezy Resales also has a great video on conditioning. I'll try to throw that in the, the description here, the link for that. But that plays a role. But I'm more or less, when we're looking at price, we're almost looking more at positioning than we are price. Um, 9 times out of 10, I'm matching up an existing price on there versus creating my own. And that just depends on whether I want to be matching the lowest, matching the highest, or in the middle. Now, part of the reason why I do that as much is because we are buy box eligible, which I'll throw a quick clip up at the end here of what that book that I scanned. I'll throw a quick clip of the actual Amazon page and where the buy box is, in case some anyone doesn't know what that looks like. I didn't know what it looked like at first. I had to actually look it up. But that buy box is essentially where people search the book, go to the page, and basically impulse buy your book, which is awesome. Without the buy box, it's a little bit different, a little bit more difficult to get the sale, and which is part of being a new seller, right? New seller problems. One is, again, not having the buy box. Another is not having feedback, having that new seller tag next to your name instead of having a rating or stars. That actually gets in the way for some people. Now, we sold plenty of books without getting a rating. I think we were almost at 100 sales before we finally got a rating, which is how Amazon works. It's slow, but if we had to do it over, one of the ways that we would overcome or get past that faster is in the beginning, when you're just learning and scanning and you're listing books as merchant orders and they're selling. Um, try to get feedback from those. We actually found a feedback service, Feedback 5, I believe it's called. I only looked at that one. It might not be the best out there, but it lets you operate for free with limited tools, but enough to get the job done. And it can send out an email within a certain number of days of the sale to your buyer requesting feedback. You have to be careful with that. Definitely read up on that because Amazon does have some rules and regulations that you don't want to step on. But the reason I would have done it around those 25 merchant orders is people are more aware of the fact that they're buying from a person. When you're selling FBA and people are just going to the home page, especially if they have the buy box, and they're just clicking add to cart or buy now, half the time people don't even know that that's not coming from Amazon, that that's coming from a person. So it's almost kind of weird if they get an email out of the blue saying, "Hey, what do you think of this seller?" and they think they just bought it from Amazon. So they're a little less likely to give you any feedback. But when you sell merch fulfilled, they're a bit more aware because they have to go to the listings, click on so such and such 45 new and used books, scroll through, find you, your name, your company, whatever, and decide to add your book to the cart because it has a cool name or whatever determination process they use. But they're more aware that they're buying from a person and a little bit more likely to give you feedback. So I would use that opportunity to request the feedback and get a rating sooner because it helps selling or moving. Some people don't want to buy from new sellers. But also, as far as the buy box, we initially we had heard that it would take 3 months to get buy box as a new seller. Now nobody really knows. You can read a lot of stuff about it, but so that's kind of what we had in mind. We actually got the buy box at about 2 months of selling. And actually jot down some of where we were at when it happened. We had actually gotten the rating already, so we had one 5-star rating. We had sold 38 merchant fulfilled orders and 134 FBA orders. Yeah, it takes that long before we finally got some feedback. But again, that's where we were it was a little less than 2 months when we noticed, whoa, we're used buy box eligible. And that changes a lot. And I don't know what the deal is or what our account, but we don't really have any not against us at all. So when we match price with a lot of sellers that have way more ratings than us, we will get the buy box for some reason. I'm not gonna complain. It's awesome. So we'll just keep going with that. But yeah, as a new seller, you're not gonna have that, so you're gonna have to price more competitively. And again, merchant orders help, but that the used buy box thing, just keeping a clean nose, getting as many orders going out there as possible. So again, we sold a lot in the beginning for very little profit just because we wanted to get some traction, get some orders going, and that may have contributed to why it took us a little bit less time than most to get the buy box, the used buy box that is. You have the new buy box, but unless you're selling new books, it's not very helpful. The used buy box is a game changer for your business. So with that, just a couple tips and just a quick screenshot. Again, I'll put up a quick screenshot at the end here of what the new versus used buy box. And just a quick preview. Next video coming is going to be for the 100 book challenge. I actually just finished my first week of the 100 book challenge. If you haven't heard of it, there's a website. I believe it's just the 100 book challenge. 100 the number, the 100 book challenge.com. And it's actually where you are challenging yourself to source 100 books a week. And I'm looking to do this for the next 90 days and just kind of document it along the way. So that'll be the next video coming out. But outside of that, hopefully there was some helpful information from the people out there that's looking to sell on Amazon, particularly books. And any questions, if it was useful, please subscribe. Any questions or comments, feel free to add. But outside of that, again, this is Anthony with Spring 15, and appreciate you watching the video, and hope you have a good night. Later.